Reichman University.
The Baseline. Stories from the court with Jonathan Rears and Mayor Cohen.
Hey guys, we're back. The Baseline with Jonathan Rears, Mayor Cohen, and Michale Kyser. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate
Episode 14, Season 2. Michale Kyser has a hell of a story.
Yeah.
We're going to get right into it. So why don't you start us off?
First and foremost, thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. Proud to see you guys, getting straight to it, and with me, with what you was saying, me getting the first out of college, going 4 years at Louisiana Tech, leading the country in blocks. I went signed to the Toronto Raptors after that training camp deal. Wound up doing the G League route, getting released, and worked my way over from the G League to going to Lebanon. I was there for a month. Went into like a little deep depression, and the team didn't like me. I don't know why. In a sense, I guess that's why I learned about the business side of things, but they just couldn't pay. I learned about the financial side in a sense of teams paying on time and everything, and if they wanted to pay you or not. So I decided to go back and try my luck in Salt Lake. Got released again. Was there for like 30 games. Did pretty good. That's why I first met Tuck, actually, Dakari Tucker or whatever. Shit. Yeah, he was a tryout player, but he didn't wind up making it. Then our story, I guess, started there, meeting each other. But after that, I did pretty good over there in Salt Lake. And I'm thinking I was gonna stay there the whole season. They wound up just saying, we want to bring in another guy, and with me being who I am, a competitor, I was a little upset and thought I was considered about to stop playing, and got a call to go play for RGV against Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. Didn't play, but they signed me for like the championship team just to be there, I guess, for extra body. And Tuck was on that team as well, and JP was on that team, Tucker, I believe so, and Chris was on that team, Chris Johnson.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it was like a lot of good guys.
A lot of guys out here in Israel.
Yeah, that's why I first met them too, but Dakari as well. But after that, didn't play or whatever, so I'm thinking, like, what am I about to do? Am I start working? You know what I'm saying? Like, at the time, my daughter was about to get ready to be born, so I had to go try to find my next stop, what was about to happen, what I was about to do. First out of college, I didn't know about life and everything, but it hit me then. But I wound up doing this thing where they had like a lot of NBA G League guys doing on a China tour, and you go be able to play against different cities to be able to try to get a contract. And we toured, went there, and then I got a call. My daughter's about to get ready to be born. Mom's water broke on Tuesday, and like it's unnatural, but like I had to get on the flight, go there, flew to Dallas, and from Dallas I flew to Houston from China, and she waited for me till that Thursday, and I walked in. Basically,
she wasn't born.
She wasn't born until I walked in.
Wow.
Boom, you know what I'm saying. Then after that, then right after that, she was born. My baby, my oldest daughter, Michale Kyser. I got a lot more after that, but that was the story of that one. My baby, and then from then on, I was trying to figure that out. What was I about to do next, and from that story on, it was like in Cyprus, I got my first deal. A lot of people, what we were talking about, people has different journeys. My journey was just like you had to start basically from ground zero, because I had a lot of teams that was, writing me off, not because I was a bad person or a bad teammate, bad in the locker room guy. It's just I just didn't fit in, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I wound up signing to the team in Ocean's Preliminary in Cyprus, and I averaged like, I think 14 and 14. And I was there for like 5-6 games, and from then on, I went to help this team, Kimmy. That was like one of the lower placed teams in the first division, and the Greek league, and I wound up helping them get to the playoffs. Was defensive, all defensive team, second team all league, and that's where it really started. From after there, Aries, a very historical club in Euro Cup right now. From then on, from Aries, it was Lakeland, the G League again, and then COVID happened after that. So from COVID, everybody's like, what's about to happen next? You know what I'm saying? And I wound up going to play in Beth Riga.
Which is where?
Vefriga in Latvia.
Latvia.
Where Porzingis is from. So
Okay.
So shout out to Vefriga because that was where I guess things really started to turn the corner for me. So wound up winning the championship there, getting Player of the Year, Forward of the Year. Did pretty good in the Champions League, even though COVID. That's where everybody had the little cardboard fans and everything. You could have people at the games. So we did. We went through that, and we wanted to win the championship. And then after that, I came to Israel. We went on our run here, won the championship, made it to the Final Four.
That was with Hulon.
Yeah,
Okay.
So shout out to the guys, on that team. But from then on, I went to ACB, played in ACB. By far one of the most competitive, if not the competitive league that I played in.
In Spain.
In Spain, what I'm saying? Very competitive. Every night, every team can beat you, which in every league that's possible. But literally there, you have to strategize. You have to have great IQ. Got to be able to follow the instructions the right way. If not, the point guard is gonna tear you apart. So after that, I wound up finishing the season. Wound up going to a lot. Came back here to Israel. We had a really good team. Me, Tyrus McGee, TJ Klein, Elijah Stewart, Joe Cheeley, Kyle Feet. He's in the second division right now. So I think it's his second year. But overall, that team could have been a really good team. But, October 7th happened, and from then on, I had to go home and figure out what I want to do, even though I didn't want to leave Israel. I had to have a family to feed, my kids and everything. And I wound up going to Samson. Samson is a team in Turkey. Lord, I tried to do the same thing I did years ago, expecting it was going to be the same type of outcome. But when I was inside Kimmy, my first stop that I did at, but it didn't wind up going like that. And the team couldn't be able to pay the players financially, so they allowed me to go to the team in Poland, King Wilkie Session. It's right next to Berlin. It's out the Polish league, and helped them get to the championship game. When it was up 3-1, like I told you, and then I was saying, and I was like, man, please don't let this be like the time what Bron did. You know what I'm saying? I was telling everybody, y'all, come on, bro, we just need one game. And it was like, Kyle, we good, bro, relax now. They came back and beat us, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to them either way. It was a great series, great league, and, I'm working my way back here, excited.
Even though Poland, you came to Cologne?
Yeah. From after this, that was the end of that season, so I decided to come back here. I was going to go to Asia, I was thinking about it. Who knows what'll happen, but, I guess I'm at where I'm at, 10 toes down. Extremely grateful to be here. Season's been up and down, but the guys on the team, we all got heart. So I guess that's why we're gonna fit together. You know what I'm saying?
So we want to dive deep into all of it.
Yeah.
So let's go back to college.
Yeah.
Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
You played there with Speedy Smith.
My boy. It's my boy. It's my brother. Yeah, Speed. I was the first person to sign to Mike White. He was the second person. We used to always say shock the world, So shout out to my brother, man. That's my brother. That's my guy right there. One of the best, if not best point guard I ever played with in my life.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah, right next to Joe, but yeah.
Dude, we looked it up. That was one of the things in researching with Speedy Smith was the first name. So that was really cool to see. And another thing, speaking of the Champions League leader, all-time in blocks.
Yeah.
Same at Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
So both very impressive. And someone has all that experience that you have, a true veteran. It's awesome that we're excited. And just to get into it, because we know you've got a lot of stories and a lot of cool stuff to tell. So when you're as we're taking it all the way back to Louisiana State, when you're there and you go to the G League, you have that first stint there. At what point in your first G League career, the first time you played in the G League, you're hearing from other players about playing overseas. At what point does that become something that you decide that that's something you're interested in doing?
In all honesty, I wasn't actually thinking about it until I got deep inside my first season. With the Raptors on 05, I had that's where I had that's why I seen the business side of it, which you can work your ass off, excuse my language, work your ass off and play hard and everything inside practices. But, if that person was signed to play, they was going to play, So I seen that. I had in front of me, I could tell you I had Bruno, my boy Bruno Caboclo. They had Bruno. They had Lucas Nagira. They had Norman Powell, Axel Tupain, Shannon Scott.
This is in the G League?
Yeah, on one team. So we had
905.
It's a great team.
They were loaded.
Great team. So that's why
Wow.
I went there. I had to really like look at it like, okay, these are great players. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all those guys and just being able to wait your time and be patient for your time to come.
For sure.
So you mentioned before earlier that you have 2 brothers. You said
Yeah, I have 3 older brothers.
3 older brothers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how did they impact? Have they always been really strong in your family in the sport side of things? Have your
Yeah.
whole family very into sports?
Yeah, I come from a real big sports family. My aunt is one of the top 100 greatest women's basketball players to come out of Texas. Laurie Weathers, and my uncle, her twin brother, he's one of the greatest multi-sports players. My grandpa, when he was in Marines, he ran track. Yeah. My cousin, she was all-state in volleyball, one of the All-American in volleyball. So it just, comes from, the family roots and genes.
Keeping the family. And Louisiana Tech, I mean, that was something that a school that they approached you. They sounded really great. What about Louisiana Tech decided for you to go there?
I think for me, at first, I didn't really know nothing. I was a late bloomer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like playing basketball. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it, but I wasn't really interested until I hit a growth spurt because I really was good at track. I ran track, and I could have been in the Junior Olympics until I hit a growth spurt. I went from 5'9" to 6'4". You know what I'm saying? In a summer, 6'3", and then from then on, it's just I was okay. My brother's you got to play basketball. It was I guess, man. My mom was you got to play basketball.
I mean, you're still using your track skills. You're
Oh, yeah,
jumping.
ain't nobody jumping in. You know what I'm saying?
All-time leader in blocks.
Yeah. I'll do what I got to do. But, yeah, man, it comes from a family, good athletes and everything. So, yeah, I guess
That's
where I
awesome.
get it from.
And after that G League stint, you went to Lebanon, and you said it was only for a month.
Yeah, it was only for a month. That's where that's where I seen, the side of things where, it could either go your way or the other way, So I don't have nothing bad to say about it.
Was there any other international guys there with you at the time?
Mo Kemp was there, actually. Maurice Kemp.
No way.
Shit.
Yeah,
First guest on the pod.
Yeah, Mo was actually there with me. I was excited to play with him there, but it just didn't work out. Me and the team didn't come to agreement, which my rookie year, you wasn't expecting it. Imagine you go from the Raptors, thinking everything is going great, and then going to the 905, it doesn't work out, and then that next stop, it's basically 3 cuts in a row. Not for no reason, not because I'm bad off the court. It's just politics, you know what I'm saying, and business side of things.
For sure.
So I had to be able to man up and understand, if you want to keep going, you got to keep going. You got to know yourself.
Then you went back to the G League, and you went back to the G League 3 times.
I went.
It was the first time.
The first,
right?
it
And
was
then after
905.
Lebanon,
Yeah.
and then
Salt Lake City. Then after Salt Lake, I went to RGV, and then I went to Cyprus, then Kimmy, then Aries, then I went to Lakeland one more time. Then COVID happened. Then that was the last time.
Lakeland is still G League.
Lakeland is they're not called. I think they call Oceanland. I can't say the name, Oceanland Magic or something. But yeah, that's the Magic's G League team.
So what made you want to go back to the G
Just
League?
to try to give another shot, man.
For NBA?
For the NBA, and we was the number 1 team of the league. You know what I'm saying? And we had great players playing over there. But and I had a really good road too. I was playing the 4, stretching the 4, shooting 3s, and I was able to showcase myself and prove to myself that I was capable of doing what I want to do and being my best version of myself. But things that happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
So where's that line? We talked to other players where they said G League money and overseas money does not compare one to the other.
You got to really go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, you're good. But where does it come where you got to think financially and think about
It just depends on your mind, man, because it depends if you're just gonna be okay, I'm just gonna save and stack $25,000-$30,000, and that's really impossible. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the States, it's taxes and everything, and you look at overseas, and if you got a family, you got kids, you got people that's relying on you, then you got to, a lot of people don't want to do that because they I quit on my dreams. But, I was one of those people that was just look, man, as long as you just continue to be the best version of yourself, you're going to be seen somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And it might not be the NBA, but you can be able to tell the story of to the next person that,
Definitely.
It's other things bigger than where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Or what your mind is at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then you came to Israel to play in Cologne.
Yeah.
And then you went to Spain, you said.
Yeah.
So playing in Toulon that first year,
Yeah.
you played with Joe Ragland,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who else was on that team?
Me, Joe, Chris Johnson, Tyrus McGee, Adam Smith.
That's a great team right there.
Rafi, Guy Panini, Steve, Zach,
Damn.
Steven Gray before he left.
And who's the coach at that time?
Goodis
was there?
Yeah. No.
Okay,
Actually, he gave him there in the second half because
Second half of the year.
Mauricio Buscaglia was the first coach, Italian coach.
So I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but you
Alright.
went Toulon and then you went to Spain. You had your stint, October 7th, whatever,
Yeah.
but you come back to Toulon.
Yeah.
And Goodis is the coach.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons why I came back. You know,
That's one of the reasons you came back.
I know. Him and the guys that are on the team. I seen the
Right.
team that we had, and in all honesty, I want to be able to just try to give it a run again. You know, I want to
Right.
be able to come back to where I knew the fans was going to be able to be great, the environment, the food, the families. You know what I'm
So
saying?
we got. I got a lot to ask about Toulon. Toulon's very interesting
Yeah.
team, fan base, everything. So
Yeah.
first, I want to ask, like, you had a few weeks where it was like not so great, right? And then during these weeks, the fans,
Yeah.
that whole shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what we can say. We were
Yeah.
at the game against Herzliya.
Yeah.
That I've never seen something like that.
Man, that wasn't even really, in all honesty, First of all, I want to say, at the end of the day, I think when you have the passion and you know what if you're going out, if it was you inside somebody else's shoes, you would go out there and down the court. That's why, sometimes you have to be able to give people the benefit of the doubt, So those fans, the Toulon fans, they go out there, they're going to support, whether they have their opinions or not, they're going to show love. So all they ask you to do is go out there and play your hardest.
For sure.
So, I think what you wanted to ask, I guess, is what you can say. I mean, I guess they want to be able to express their emotions and feelings. You know what I'm
sure.
saying? So that was that. It was nothing else more than that.
That's a pro answer, right?
Yeah.
That
for
is a
sure.
great
Answer.
answer.
Yeah.
But as a bystander, like, we're at the Herzliya game, we want to say what's up to Tuck, and like whatever. And then the guys, like, you guys are going through,
Yeah.
they're just yelling their tails off, like
Yeah.
fucking flipping.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But you guys go,
Yeah.
right? And Goodis is literally being covered by security
Yeah.
guards. Because if he's not, they're going to, like, start throwing shit at him. And, like, whatever they have to say about
Yeah.
it. But you came
Yeah.
because he was a part of this organization.
Yeah, that too, and the fans. You know what
And
I'm
the
saying?
fans,
Like,
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, and
It's a
Tuck,
great
too.
fans. But then
Yeah.
he resigns.
Yeah.
So what happens there when the coach resigns and now you guys have to play with a new coach?
Well, really, is really to answer your question, it's not really even a new coach. It's the assistant coach, Guy Kaplan, which is a great coach, I think. First of all, respect to Coach Guy, because it takes a lot. Coach Guy Goodis,
Right.
it takes a lot to be able to have people coming at you multiple times, and then you get to a point where it's just like, hey, it's a part of life. You know what I'm saying? There's only so much a person can take. So he did the best that he could. I respect him. We made history together. You know what I'm saying? And if he's a forever a part of my life and everything when it comes to that history. But with Guy Kaplan, I think it's just like, from now, it's just like we just been on strategic, whatever he says goes and whatever. We just want to make sure that, like, because he said something when he first met with us. He was like, the easy thing to do is to make excuses, you know what I'm saying, and say whatever else everybody else is saying. We're going to be here together. We're going to fight together. Once we leave the locker room, we're going to go out there and play our hardest, and we're going to leave it at that. We're playing for ourselves. We're on the court, not playing for nobody else. And that right there, I think, got all of our attention to go out there and play our best.
For sure. And he already got his win.
Yeah.
He already got his first win in, like, his second game,
Yeah,
no?
we need to keep that going, though. We don't need one win. We
Yeah,
need more
for
than
sure.
that. Yeah.
I mean, you guys have the team to do it.
Yeah.
It's a sick team this year.
Yeah.
Cologne.
Yeah.
But that's amazing.
So part of coming to Israel for the first time for you, what were you expecting? What have you heard from other people? And then what received with that? I mean, to this day, you're back. You like playing here. As you said, it's somewhere you can rely on, some place you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So what were you expecting when you were going to come to Israel, and then to what it actually ended up being?
What was I expecting when I first came to Israel? In all honesty, I was with Jacobin. I was training with him in Houston because he stays in Port Arthur. I stay in Houston or whatever. So we was like around each other inside the Pro-Am leagues, and he was playing here. I guess he was playing at Hapoel at that time, and he was telling me more about it. He was like, I was like, bro, you play in Israel, right? He was like, yeah, you should come. And, you know, I was thinking on it and everything, and I really didn't know what to expect, but I knew, like, I heard it was a vibe out here. One, it was a competitive league. D'Angelo Harrison told me about it here, my guy. Zach Leday, he was telling me at that time, too. I asked a lot of people that was inside a close circle and proximity about it, and they had a good thing to say about the league and everything. So from then on, like, I decided to, you know, make that decision to come here.
What were some ways that maybe the Cholon family, if they did, like, accepted you into being here, and relationships that you have with maybe people in the building or fans, so that you've made it your first time you're Cholon, that maybe you've maintained in your second stint?
You're asking like the Cholon people or just the people here inside the?
Well, more the Cholon people. Like we've spoken to guests before who have told us that there are fans that invite them for Shabbat meals or staff members and such.
I've had I've actually went to Shabbat dinner for one of the fans recently. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. My cousin was here. He was able to experience that. You know, put what is it called?
The kippah?
The kippah. He put the kippah on his head and everything and stuff. And he was like, Kai, you have your do-rag on. That's good. But, he was able to experience that, as well as, you know, my family, my second family, I would say second and third, or 2A, 2B. Ido Romy, he plays in second division, and Ofek Fokum and their family accepted me and my family the first year. So they invited us over for dinner, you know, watch my daughter, and at the time, you know, it's always show love. So that's why I told you when we was first walking here, you know, it's always, they made me appreciate family more, you know what I'm saying, like being here in Israel, you know, so yeah.
So as someone who's played in so many different places and leagues, what can you tell us about how important that is for a player to kind of understand that they have people that are surrounding them, that support them, and that see them as someone who's really part of being there, and maybe not just a player. You've played in a lot of different leagues. Maybe some don't have that same welcoming environment, or fans or people that are a part of the team really getting to know you. Yeah. So how important is that as an international player coming to play somewhere else to have that?
I think that's something that's major. You don't really expect a lot of people to be able to accept you and bring you in. You know, with me, I wasn't expecting nobody. I didn't know anything about Shabbat. I didn't know about the holidays, none of that. So just being able to have people to be able to, look, you need anything, I got you. I don't need nothing back from you. You know, you're here alone, or you're here with your family, you know, like whatever you guys need. I'm not looking at you as Michael Kyser. I'm looking at you as a man that's here in another country, you know, your family, whatever you need, I got your back. And that's always something that's been big to me.
Is that something that you see more here in Israel than any other place that you've
More
been?
here than Israel than any other place, yeah. And, I mean, when I was in Greece, they showed a lot of love, too. You know what I'm saying? But here more so, yeah. Yes, yeah.
And how was your experience in Cyprus? Because we were talking about the deal maybe that might happen, that you would play for Cyprus. So how does that come into play? Why would you play for Cyprus? And like,
so it's still in talks, you know what I'm saying? Right. But, you know, if it was to happen, I would be able to try to be able to play for the national team. But if they had a spot, if they were looking for a guy, and I told you I played there for like 5-6 games, and just recently the owner of the club, I've been looking for my jersey, like because it's my first jersey that started everything in Europe. My first team in Europe, that team, I thought, like, just so I could tell my kids, like, hey, don't ever say nothing about no salary. This was $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was $1,000 team, or $1,000 contract that I decided to go after, not knowing what was next. I could have got cut, but I was like, my mind was set forward on making sure that to change that dynamic of everything. So with the management over there, they was basically telling me, you know, I asked them about it, and then they were just going to say they was going to talk to the federation. So who knows, it might happen, it might not happen, but, you know, Cyprus always got my love because that place is sensational.
Yeah,
you know?
It's awesome. It's Israel's backyard, too. It's right here. It's awesome.
No, but what I was going to say was they brought me my jersey. So, like, randomly, right before we played, what was the last game we played? Herzliya, yeah.
Herzliya,
the last game. So, the guy showed up that I haven't seen in like 7 years. And mind you, I haven't seen him in 7 years. You know, it's been a lot of late nights, you know, early mornings and stuff. So, my memory was a little shaken. Then I looked at his face, and it was like, the manager was like, you remember this guy? And I looked at him. He had my jersey. And I'm like, yo, like, that's crazy. I've been looking for this jersey. And I gave him my jersey. When I wanted the jersey that I used for Champions League to break the blocks record and everything. And, you know, just that switch and everything was amazing to be able to have it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So if I can ask about maybe more team dynamics as opposed to places you've played, because I think there's so much to ask you. You have all this amazing experience. So really 2 questions. One, it's as a guy who's played in a lot of international places, I'm sure there's been veterans on teams that you've joined to kind of ask them about what it's like playing in different countries and how to get used to it, and missing your family and supporting your family from afar, and how you're able to do that. So how has that changed from you, and maybe you needed that when you were young, to now being a mentor for maybe other guys who don't have someone to look up to who's traveled and been there? So what's the differences, and what have you learned since being the guy who needed someone to tell them how to do it, and what's it like to maybe giving that advice to other players?
I think it's just communication. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, me first, because I started off a little bit, like I started off at like 23, 24, being in my first year, and a lot of guys, they might come in a little bit younger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think, but my thing about me was, it was about communication. I would ask a lot of guys that were older than me, like, or they had more experience than me, or been playing basketball longer than me. A lot of questions and things, and I think with me now, instead of somebody asking me something because they might be like a little, like I don't know what type of dude he is, you know what I'm saying? I reach out to them and be like, hey, if you need anything, this is supposed to be like this or whatever. So I think the main thing about from that time when I was like younger to now is just about communicating on both sides, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Having that someone to just have an open line with that you can feel comfortable with is huge. And so when you're starting to play overseas, and you're kind of getting used to it and traveling a lot, maybe it's different. I mean, now that you have been playing in Champions League, I'm sure it's a lot of travel, and that has a big toll on you. So for someone who has all this experience, maybe there's some leagues, Israeli, the domestic league, you don't have to do a lot of traveling. You can stay local relatively. You know, you're in a bus ride or maybe one long plane ride. So how does that differ between leagues? And a lot of what we talk about here is the equipment teams have for different leagues and how they treat their players. So what can you say about the Israeli league and how they're able to make players feel comfortable, maybe some strengths or some weaknesses that the league has compared to other leagues?
I mean, with everything that's in Israel, where the places I have played at, it's just like everything you said. Everything is in close proximity. You'll be able to drive and everything. Like some of the games, we were able to drive ourselves, like to Herzliya or to Ramat Gan. You know, so respect to the league, being able to even at least have the teams being able to be close to each other. Where like when I was playing inside Poland last year, like we would drive like the day of the game, we would drive like 7 hours, 6 hours in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then play the game, go to the hotel, play the game, and then drive back that night another set, like the 7 hours. We didn't stay the night at all. So with that being said, you know, I can't really like compare anything to being here, you know. And then ACB, when I played there, I think that's the closest thing to here, being able to catch, I'm not going to say catch flights, but just being able to be in close proximity of a lot of things, and the league being able to handle it.
And what do you think something that the Israel League can improve on?
Oh, man, I can't even tell you. I would say, like, probably the breaks. Like we're about to have a break, a month break or whatever. Like, so maybe
shorter breaks?
Shorter breaks, you know, be able to just stay in motion or whatever, but, you know.
But how that's not really, like, because it's an international play, right?
Yeah.
So anywhere you go, they have that break.
Yeah, anywhere.
Right?
You know, yeah.
So other than that, is there something like, I don't know, something in the facilities that like we were talking about, something?
There doesn't have to be. If it's good, then it's good.
It's great.
I ain't got nothing bad to say. Nah.
That's great.
That's awesome. And we here really have spoken to a lot of different players and told us their perspectives about leagues all over the world.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing is an investment in Israeli basketball from owners and from players, and you know, just overall culturally really getting more involved in the game. So that makes us happy to hear that that's something, and it's a destination that we really think is growing. We really think there's just even a bigger market every day for players to play here. So that's amazing.
It's honestly great because you see like the NBA, obviously the highest league in the world, right? And then you have the Euro League, and you have all the leagues around. And I've been like really tuning into the Israeli League, whether it's just like live streams of games, going to games and everything. And they really have it set, right? It's very professional. Yeah. And I don't think a typical person would just expect that.
Nah, like I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was telling my little brother yesterday, I actually have a younger little brother too. He's 14, but I was telling him yesterday, he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm watching the game, like, you know, the derby."
Right, that game is crazy.
Yeah, game yesterday. Wow. I was watching it yesterday, and he was like, "What do you mean?" Like, you was watching the game. I'm like, watching teams inside the league play. He was like, he didn't have no idea in the sense of all he knows is his brother plays basketball overseas, but it's just like how everything is. Okay, I'm watching them on TV at this time. You know, inside Israeli League that this channel is going to be
streaming it.
Yeah. But go ahead, get what you're saying.
No, that game was sick.
Great game. We watched it too.
Man, look, that was a great game for
OT.
sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, Maccabi needed that one.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a little bit about your experience in the Champions League and overall. So we've seen there's all this talk about hopefully how Paul moving up to EuroLeague and different teams moving in and out of leagues here. But you've had a lot of success in playing Champions League basketball.
Yeah.
So is there anything specific about Champions League that's maybe a certain type of a play or a way they do it? Because you as a guy who's just a beast on defense, someone that everybody wants in their team, do you feel like maybe playing Champions League specifically they value someone who brings your skill set to the table?
I would believe so. Yeah, I think it's just I guess I just fit. I guess wherever I play, in the sense of I think every team can use a guy like me, and it just so happened to be that the teams are Champions League teams. You know what I'm saying? Like I think I can help a team in any league. That's just the type of player I bring, the type of player that I am, especially playing this IACB, playing against the top players, and be able to hold my own and be better than a couple of guys. A lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
for sure.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to continue that question about the defense, because we have the opportunity to speak as someone who's worldwide known for his defense, and that's when we look you up and we do research, we try to figure out who you are. It's like this man is leading the Champions League in blocks. He's the all-time leader at Louisiana Tech. So you have this incredible athletic, history, your family, and always being able to do that. But maybe on the really technical side of it, like if you really want to talk ball, what are some things that really help you on defense that maybe other players don't have that you think sets you apart and allows you to really impact the game like that?
I think that track and field, my uncle really instilled that inside of me. Like he's one of the best track and field coaches in Texas, and maybe inside my eyes the world. Shout out to my uncle Larry Weathers. Second, that's my guy. But he really instilled that into me. Everything he does, the dynamics of the hurdles, and then be able to go under the hurdles, be able to move your movements and everything. I just put that on the court and be able to move defensive slides and everything. He's the one that really helped instill that inside of me. So, that's where I guess I get that from, in a sense.
So, additionally, first of all, that's amazing. And that really is, you can tell guys that just have it, where did they get it from? What are the things that they've done in their lives that allows them to do that? Because, a lot of guys have size that play here in the league, but to be able to do that is a whole different story. So, kind of moving on from that, I just really believe that here in Israel, we're a very physical league. It's a league that's growing. People really like the style of play. So you obviously are able to bring that kind of skill set here and be an anchor on defense. What do you think is different about the Israeli league versus other leagues in a technical sense? We like to ask our guests a lot. We have all kinds of answers. Some people talk about the coaching versus the play style. But for you, what's something about the play style in the league that stands out?
I think it's getting more up tempo now. If that makes sense. Some teams, depending on who you playing, they're gonna be structured. Half court or whatever, but like more so now it's like more up and down, more athleticism displayed on both sides, whether you're Israeli or whatever or American. I think it's balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been able to move up tempo, and then defensively it's a lot more switching too compared to other leagues. You know what I'm saying? Like in ACB or inside the Turkish league, you don't really see a lot of switches. You don't see a lot of bigs that can guard the guards and everything. But here, it's a lot of small ball like the NBA and everything, which is, I think, it's one of the reasons why. I'm not gonna say that's one of the reasons why the league is being watched, but it's like it's aggressive. You're able to switch, and it's just like high up tempo, energy, all of that, high pace.
So you've mentioned the ACB a couple times, the league in Spain. So tell us a little bit more about that league. You said it's one of the most competitive leagues, if not the most that you've ever played with. Played in. So what's it about that league that stands out that makes it so much more competitive and more intense than other leagues?
I think it's because outside of the NBA, in the EuroLeague, it's the best league in the world, and I that's saying that in all respect to Israel, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, every night, like I said, you don't know who anybody can beat you, and then it's just like high IQs, guys that's plays for Barcelona, Real Madrid, and they've been doing it since they was 14 years old, so they have a step. They've been playing with the same guys for 8 years. So they know what the next move is. They know what the next coverage is or whatever. It's just more strategic and more, I would say it's more physical or whatever, but at the same time, though, I think it's more like analytical and IQ based.
So as I keep kind of bringing up, someone who has all this experience, what are you telling someone that's new and that's coming overseas for the first time, maybe going to experience something similar to you and have that playing a lot of different teams, a lot of different countries? What are you telling them, or maybe even a younger version of yourself, that you could do differently, or what to expect to have a successful career playing overseas?
Yeah, I would think it's just, if I could tell somebody that was younger than me, or even myself, I would just say don't doubt. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of doubting when I was younger, whether it was just like listening to the next person instead of just keeping my mind focused on the bigger picture. And I think it took me some time, maybe when I had my first child, to be able to see that, and it happens. You know what I'm saying? But like, I would just tell anybody that's coming from, whether they have their doubts of coming overseas, as long as you have your vision and your mind for it and you know yourself, you know what I'm saying, I think everything will come out the way it's supposed to, as long as you just have your faith. Just don't doubt.
So talking about vision and faith, tell us about your brand that you have.
Know yourself. Know yourself. .shop. It's me. Like the shirt says, travel far enough, you'll meet yourself. I think I have met myself in the sense of me playing. It's my 10th season, so Anybody need anything on the shop, it's global. Know yourself.shop. I'm about to give my guys something, expect that coming in the next couple of days. We got to meet up on that, but it's know yourself.shop. Your boy Kai. Appreciate y'all.
Amazing. We'll make sure it's linked and everything. Don't
That's
worry.
Great. Well, as we wrap up, we usually like to do this segment.
All right.
Little shot clock segment.
Okay.
So we're gonna put up like 24 to 30 seconds on the shot
we gotta
clock.
keep it strict. 24
strict. All right, and just like one word answers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, we had Kyler Edwards in the other day, and people are starting to get competitive with this. Everybody's trying to win here. That comes on a guess. So our record is something like 8 or 9. But we gotta make sure it's good.
3, 2, 1, go.
Favorite hoop shoe?
The Jordan 10s.
Favorite NBA team?
The Lakers.
Forgotten NBA player?
Kevin Garnett.
Favorite basketball movie?
Above the Rim.
Country's best food played in?
Israel.
Second best food?
Greece.
Best team?
Happy Halon.
Favorite NBA team?
The Lakers.
That's it. So he gets an extra.
Holy, like, what's up, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. It gotta be like 8 time to be tied. You gonna ask me the same question twice? That gotta be a bonus.
That's a violation, man.
That was a violation. I mixed up. I was trying to say the question quick, and I just didn't have another question.
I will say though, as we end, we really appreciate you coming in. And as we spoke before, you're trying to get something, a pot of your own up. Yeah. I think that would be amazing, and I think that's something this league needs more of. I know that there's one. I got 4 guys on a poll. I have one. Of course, Pat Bev comes, does his thing. But as two guys who are actually starting to be involved in the media scene here in Israel, and we're realizing how much people want it. And it's an amazing league, and we feel really strongly that more content in English specifically needs to be shared about this league, because they've got great characters, great players, great stories. So as soon as, if it happens, we're there with you and we support you, and you're a natural. So you'll be good.
Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate y'all, brothers, for sure.